It's Offside with Haas and McGuire.
Will you ever drink again?
No, I've been drinking. I just
Oh.
haven't been opening. It's Offside with Haas and McGuire.
beautiful
I'm
thing.
Haas.
I'm McGuire.
Hey, welcome. This is November the 1st. It's the first month of, really, the first full month of what we would call the end of spring.
What the fuck?
Right? Am I wrong?
Well, weather-wise, you're not.
You know.
I mean, it was 25 yesterday.
It's been gorgeous. It's
Yeah.
been wonderful weather.
Even
and,
today, it wasn't even that bad, really.
I golfed yesterday.
I'm sure you
I
did. I
golfed
mean,
yesterday.
Riverview was
Yeah.
packed.
Was it really?
Yeah.
When do you guys close?
Well, we were supposed to close yesterday.
Right.
But they've extended through the weekend, and this will probably be it because...
Nah, the rest of the week's supposed to be great, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, they got sort of coerced, I think, by sheer volume of members who said, hey, come on. Like, the traditional closing October 31st isn't working anymore.
Right.
Probably not getting any snow till December. So let's give us another week at least. So they've gone 4 days.
But you got to also give them time to do the regular end of year maintenance.
The big thing is
So-
our greens need to be tarped. And
right.
you can't, the last thing you can afford to have happen is a snap storm.
Yeah.
And have the snow come down that potentially may not go, or even worse, ice.
Yeah.
And you haven't got them tarped. So
And you know the big difference in Riverview, for example,
Yeah.
to where I golf more often,
Yeah.
right, which is Emerald Links, is Emerald Links doesn't really give a shit. They just want more money. So they're going to be open as long as they can be. Okay.
oh well,
Right.
You know,
And no, but I mean, you guys are like, you know, you're I guess the management or the executive of the club
Yeah.
is thinking ahead. They're thinking about the future. They're thinking about how do we maintain this properly, all that stuff. The good thing is that Gib doesn't give a shit about all that, right? It's like, how much money am I going to make today? Can I make more money today?
keeps things simple.
Absolutely. Can I, you know what, can I give some chili? We got a lot of chili in the back. We got to, you know.
Let's make it a special again.
Yeah. So, and I don't know if you saw, but everybody is getting employee pricing at.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah. He said he doesn't give any discounts to his employees.
Yeah. But we do hope to have Give back next year
We
as a
do hope to
sponsor.
have, absolutely.
You know, we missed him for this season, but he did help us out last
He
last year.
absolutely did. And
A lot. We got to Florida with that, and we did those 6 fantastic interviews, and hopefully we'll have Gib Patterson Group of Golf Courses back next year.
Absolutely, or another group of golf courses. If you're watching this and from a group of golf, or even one golf course, we are happy to be a part of that. As a matter of fact, we love our sponsors. The few that we have, it really helps us out. Trust us, because we're doing this. This is actually, you know what? Someone explained to me what it is we're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, they said, like, are you making any money? And I said, fuck no. And they go, oh, so it's a passion project.
Oh.
So
Good word.
this is a passion project. So everybody understands clearly.
For one more year
what we're
anyway.
doing. For
You
one
know?
more year.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And
I'm
holy lifting, buddy.
I'm not
Are you
even
sure you
drinking.
haven't been drinking?
I know, this is the thing. Okay, so we're going to start off. We started talking about sponsors.
Get a 24 and a half in that thing, probably.
I know, that's actually, I made that, eh?
Did you?
Yeah, it's an old suitcase that I made. You can't, the people can't see
Have
it.
you been to all those countries?
I have been everywhere on this.
I've been
on this
everywhere, man.
thing. Exactly. I'm Hank Snow. Everybody goes, oh, Johnny Cash.
Oh, now I go McLean and McLean.
And McLean. Well, yeah. We'll just keep this a PG rated version of it.
Really? You kidding? Are you kidding me right now?
Am I fucking kidding you? Okay. Yeah. Anyway, you know the story. I mean, I think I've told you this. I opened for McLean and McLean.
Yeah, you
back in
did
the
tell
day.
me that one time.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
tried
very
thinking.
nice, very nice
Phenomenal.
guys.
I think
Yeah.
they both passed or one for sure.
You know what?
One's
I
gone
honestly
for
don't
sure.
know. To be honest with you, I lost touch with them after that night. It was like, you know, they were very nice to me. It was like, yeah, whatever. See you later. Bye. You know.
See you guys.
And
Yeah.
I called them. I technically was stalking, but they were quite good. But they were at the sort of in the twilight of their popularity at that time. So,
Okay. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I was just on the rise.
Yeah, of course. You were
met in the middle.
At the crossroads.
You know what I mean?
Right, with fuck around and find out.
That's right. Exactly. Okay, getting back.
Yeah.
Speaking of sponsors, we have a sponsor for our hockey pool.
Yes, we do.
Hosey and Brown Automotive.
Yeah, back again.
Okay.
God love them.
And you know what we need, though? We need to have, like, they don't really have a slogan. There's no, like, jingle for Hosey and Brown.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to have to work
I'd
on
say,
a Hosey and Brown jingle.
Oh, you'd run that one by Rod. He'd come up with a few. He phoned me tonight, actually.
Did he?
In fact, yeah. You usually get a call from him towards the end of most weeks as he's making his rounds,
right?
Seeing some clients and stuff, as he calls it, on his way home. And we go way back, Rod?
Yeah, no, you guys went to school together.
Yeah, we met in grade 9, 51 years ago. So long time friend, and thrilled to have him back on and sponsoring, and guess is gonna make the trip out east largely possible. I think
this is making it's not largely possible. It's making it possible. Period. Yeah. So to that end, let's talk about the hockey pool.
Yeah,
which is off gangbusters. The first full month of the hockey pool is now complete.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there are some surprises.
Yeah.
And some things that aren't a surprise. Okay.
Right.
So I'm going to start by saying that the leader in the hockey pool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is a new player to
awesome.
to the hockey pool.
Yeah.
Okay. And that is the Goon Squad. The
Yes.
Goon Squad. Okay. And so they're leading. And apparently...
It's not Bubba, is it?
No.
Okay.
No. I'm going to tell you who it is.
Yeah.
It's Adel.
No way.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It's Adel from came to Ireland with us.
No way.
Yeah. No word of a lie.
Holy cow.
Yeah. Adel is leading.
Yeah,
okay?
he's been leading like out of the gate, I think.
Right out of the gate. However, he is followed very closely behind.
Yeah.
By Chuck.
By Chuck.
Chuck's in the running again. Like
Chuck.
He's there. He missed out in the last week or 2 weeks last year for Ireland.
Yeah.
He was so close. He had a couple of late season injuries.
Yeah.
Okay. And took his guys out. And Dave Zivkovic came up and boom, went from there. But Chuck was right there the whole time, leading most of the way. I know,
we mentioned his name quite a bit last year down the stretch, because he had that wedding that was going to possibly
his son's wedding, right? Yeah. Which, but now this year, no wedding.
No wedding.
Unfortunately, we're not going to Ireland.
We're going to Ireland,
I'm going to Ireland.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
Okay, and then, scroll down, like there's, a bunch of different people that I kind of don't know. I can't remember who's who, but to be honest with you, they're all pretty close in numbers, to be honest with you. Till we get down to and rounding out the top 10. Okay, we have one team. I don't even know who this is though. It's the Rough Riders, and they're a half a point ahead of my son-in-law.
Okay,
and myself.
Okay,
and we went together on a team.
Okay, yeah,
and then below that at number 12. Is this fella Wade? He's almost 20 points behind us. This guy, Henderson scores for Canada.
Hey, that's me.
You know,
did you know that was me?
Yeah, you're in Cornwallis place. Okay, number 12.
Yeah,
and then Dave Zivkovic is right behind you in the ominous number 13 spot.
Okay, yeah.
So he's coming up. So we've kind of covered that whole thing, but some big surprises in that Adel.
Good.
Right out of the gate
for you,
comes
buddy.
In, okay.
Jeez.
He's got an algorithm going. Like he was talking about how he was doing
it
while we were there, and he was gonna. I don't know if he used AI or not or something, but you know what? It just goes to show you could approach it scientifically.
Yeah.
Right. And that's probably the better way to do it, as apparently the numbers.
Apparently
say.
It is right now, and I'll tell you. Yeah. I mean, if that maintains right through, can you imagine? Yeah. We'll all be doing that.
So here's the plan. The winner. And this is a trip for 2 to PEI.
Okay.
Because no one wants to go to PEI alone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Then they feel kind of,
Yeah.
And then we're not.
I could, but.
I know. But, you seem to have an ability to make friends anywhere that's a licensed establishment.
Well,
Okay.
Just trying to fit in.
Well, I know. It's, So, so we're not doing a big trip to PEI.
Right.
It's just going to be the winners And I'm trying to find a way for you and I to go along.
Right.
Okay. At the same time, so that we can actually, give them a good time.
Sure.
Right. You can introduce them in bars and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're no stranger to PEI.
No, that's the thing. It's
the
province I've been to. Well, I mean, obviously Quebec, but I mean, I've been there a ton. Yeah, I've been there a ton. Worked there a ton, so it's awesome.
Yeah. So we're gonna see. I can't promise that, but at least the two people are going to be going on their own.
Yep.
But the goal is, if we can manage it, then we will go as well. Try to show them a good time.
Yep.
If not, we'll hire a hooker, and that'll do that. Because it's
Perfect.
actually a Charlottetown hooker is actually cheaper than an air flight.
Yeah, I believe it.
You know what I mean? And you know what? She won't lose your bag, unlike Air Canada.
No, exactly. Yeah.
I can't say that she won't be late the next month, but
no.
Anyhow,
That's what rubbers are for.
About these hookers. I don't know why you keep bringing this up.
Yeah, it just sort of bounced into the conversation.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff that went on in the last. We had a thing last week. We had a show that was kind of our first show.
Yeah.
Okay, but things have happened. We talked about the Trouba hit and stuff like that.
Yep.
And now you
Barron's back, by the way. Came back and played. So, much ado about nothing, really. Had his head down, got clocked.
Well, listen, speaking of much ado about nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. The Wilson-Anderson fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I want to hear what you have to say about that.
From a Montreal fan, where the season has been less than scintillating, even though they're not expected to make the playoffs.
To use the Danny Gallivism?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's one of Danny's...
Danny Gallivan.
Yeah, candidating drive and the puck cut and the paraphernalia. Scintillating. Yeah. And definitely Montreal's play has not been very good.
No.
And last night, whenever this airs, they played Washington and they were tied 3-3 after 40, but the ice was totally tilted. And 3 goals. Tom Wilson's out there running around doing Tom Wilson things. So, it's...
But I didn't think that the hit was that. It was a finishing a check.
No, it's bullshit. That's total bullshit.
What?
Please, come on, don't go there.
Just let go to the puck.
Don't go
I mean, it was, you know what? You can say it was a little late.
It was late. It was high. It was gratuitous on who it was on to.
Of course it was gratuitous. Well, I don't think he gave a shit who it was. I don't think he cared who it was.
I personally think he did.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I think, hey, here's a new hot shot in the league, and he's getting lots of ink out of Montreal. Take a run at him. They got nobody on the ice. They didn't draft Jack-Eye, so I'm good to go. And turns out he wasn't good to go. I mean, Montreal won very little last night, but Anderson, who should fight more, and I've said that repeatedly, privately, publicly. When I did talk to him, he was in PEI 2 years ago. He came to that weekly gig that I worked there. He's a nephew of Pete Mahovlich.
Oh, really?
Pete and Frank Mahovlich are his uncles.
Oh, wow. So he's got some pedigree.
He's got some pedigree in the family.
Now, is he also from Timmins?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. So I guess I'm trying to remember the connection. I think his mom is a Mahovlich, actually.
Okay, well, that would make sense.
So, but
because if his dad was if there was,
I understand that, but I know sometimes you get through marriage and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it's actually a direct connection to his mother, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And no, I think he grew up in the Toronto area. He's a super nice guy, but he's a big man. He's in great shape, and he's actually, by his own standard, that he's produced on Montreal, or lack of production on Montreal in the last couple of years. He didn't score a goal last year till forever, and he's got 2 already. And where he's been used, and rather proficiently, again, up until the last 2 games, has been on the penalty kill. He's been pretty effective. Now, last night he jumped in. I mean, listen, I don't have much to say about the Habs. All I want to say is that Josh Anderson kicked the shit out of Tom Wilson. It isn't like it was a game changer.
No.
It wasn't a bloodbath, but he dropped him, and it was significant for a couple reasons. One, he answered the bell right away, which hasn't been done very often in the past on Montreal, which is why Jack-Eye probably has made the team the last couple years.
Right.
Although he's regressed a little bit, so he's having a hard time making a lineup, although they can shoot
apparently
Justin
he's got to fight
Barron.
More than one guy at a time as well.
Well, I mean...
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, anyhow, sorry.
Yeah, well, that's, Harvard's good to go, man. He take on the world. There's no doubt about it. The guy is a fan favorite, and he should be. It's just his overall, he does, we're getting in splitting hairs here. on the Habs, who are not off to a good start. But I mentioned it to it as a topic because we're going to rip through what we always should do when we do the show. Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto should always get a comment from us on them. And in Montreal's case, after a very nice weekend where they won 2 games to get back to 500, they got pasted on home ice by Seattle and then went into Washington and were good measure for a 3-3 tie after 2 periods, largely because Suzuki and Caulfield are playing lights out. Right. So they're both having exceptional starts of the season, especially Caulfield. He's got 10 goals. I mean, come on. It's ridiculous. Tied for the goal-scoring lead. So he's playing great. Josh Anderson beat the shit out of Wilson. Okay, great. I mean, we just don't have a lot of boxes we can check off here in Montreal
so
right
you're
now.
Excited about that?
I'm excited about the fact that Josh won a fight against a real tough guy. And maybe it will inspire him, as many of us have wished and said and hoped, that he'll do it more often. You don't have to be a goon, but you got to go out there. What I told Josh 2 years ago in PEI was, I said, there was an old adage from 1960s hockey. And your uncles are Frank and Pete Mahovlich. They played then and obviously into the 70s. And the old adage was, if the game's gone completely south and you've done fuck all, find a way to get on the game sheet. Okay? I mean, it's, I don't have to spell it out, right?
Well, I think
so. Get on the sheet and go out. And you know who lived by that? A player that you would have absolutely and probably still love to no end in your life when he played for your Boston Bruins back in the day, and that was Terry O'Reilly. Terry O'Reilly, who anybody, whether you're a Bruin fan or not, had to have the utmost respect and admiration for as a player. And he lived by that mantra.
Well, no doubt. But you know what I'm going to say, though? And maybe this is just my bias towards the Boston Bruins or to Terry O'Reilly.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
But I think Terry O'Reilly had there is a code that existed in those guys, and he was not just out there to goon.
He wasn't going to take the gratuitous shot that Tom Wilson took last night.
And
Terry O'Reilly would not have made that hit.
No, you're probably right.
I know I'm right.
But at the same time, you know what? I disagree. I don't think it was meant on purpose. I think he would have finished that check on whoever that was.
I disagree strongly.
Totally
disagree
you're entitled
with you
to
there.
your
absolutely. We'll agree to disagree on that.
But that being said, no, you're probably right that it would happen. And listen, I mean, you could go through the list of Bruins who would jump up in that era. Okay, and that's what
very tough team.
But that's what gelled that team. But also, it's also what they even the group says to themselves that this is what they were. You fight one Bruin, you fight them all. Right?
Well, yeah.
That was their whole...
Well, the Don Cherry mentality, right? They were called the lunch pail gang.
Yeah, but
well, they were the big bad Bruins. Yes, you're right. Before Graves. Late 60s, early 70s, the big bad Bruins begat the Broad Street Bullies, which forced the Habs to find, more toughness through the bulk of the lineup, which then gave us the New York Islanders.
Right.
And there's never been a team, any team, that had player 1 through player 18, with the exception of Bossy. He'd maybe be the only out. Maybe Stefan Persson. Everybody else was good to go on that Islander team. Literally. I mean, you take Bob Bourne, go down the line. Anybody, everybody.
Here's the thing, you didn't need to. I mean, they were tough and strong, but they played through. But you know what about that era of the Islanders is that they didn't do it. They weren't gratuitous with it. Like Philadelphia went out of control. I thought. Oh, they were, of course.
Flyers use it as a tactic. The Islanders were a response to that era. Right. That era was
built. But as they moved forward, even guys like Clark Gillies, who was a fucking gorilla.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think of Clark Gillies, the first thing you think of is not equating him with Dave Schultz. You equate him with a power forward.
Of course.
You equate him with a guy who played well and you didn't want to tangle with.
No.
But you don't think of him in the same way. And I think that's where the New York Islanders, and I was not a New York Islander fan, aside from the fact that Denny Potvin was an Ottawa guy from Eastview, from
Sure. And his brother Jean was there for a while too. And
that was a thing. So we always liked Potvin.
Yeah.
But other than that, I thought that they were a class organization.
I mean, yes, they were. They didn't have guys like the Flyers to back up as we reverse out of this road we've gone down. They took it to a level that led them to do what they did. 5 finals, 4 cups, 19 series wins. No one will ever match that consecutive. So they've got that.
The key was Ken Morrow.
Well, he scored a lot of big goals for them. I mean, he came right out of winning Miracle and ended up scoring. I mean, the guy scored, I think, 4 overtime goals
in that playoff.
Not in that playoff year, but over his career with the Islanders, and he just scored some huge goals for them. Yeah. And obviously was a hell of an effective defenseman on top of that. So he just so complemented that roster. Plus, he was big and strong. Hardly fought, hardly needed to. Yeah. I mean, by the time you got down to him on the depth chart, scrappers, there was really nobody else in any of the team that wanted to go. But the Islanders were built to play any way you wanted. Yeah. They kind of took Montreal's blueprint in that sense, and they just were the next team that took over as the Canadiens were going, were fading in the late 70s, early 80s, of course, as it does for everybody. Yeah. And my point in all that was Terry O'Reilly would not have made that hit last night. Tom Wilson did. By the way, that was his second one in the game. He had done it earlier as well. So he was flying around doing what he did. I think largely because Jack-I wasn't out there. And he made that hit at the end. And a 3-goal lead with seconds to play. And you're running the 20-year-old American kid because you didn't think anybody was going to do anything. And if you look at the fight and look at his face, he is shocked.
That's
he looks like he's in a state of shock as he's trying to right the ship, and he's figuring out, holy shit, I didn't think anybody was going to do anything. Yeah. And then Anderson's going, and then it was kind of just a tugging match until Josh got
Am I correct in this? Like, did they have time together, or did they play together?
No.
Okay.
No.
They didn't play together.
No.
So
Josh came out of Columbus, where he always scored against Montreal. It's just incredible when the Habs got him.
Get him. They go, okay,
got him. They traded Domi for him, who actually led the Habs in scoring. They're at 72 points the first year he was there. Played great, and just fell out of favor so quickly. Now it's the Marc Bergevin era, and the Habs. I think the tail end of his era, and he was doing some things. Whole other discussion. But at the end of the day, Josh comes in. I remember that first game against Toronto. He looked like Clark Gillies. In that his first game as a Montreal Canadien, and the regular season was against the Leafs. They lost late. It was an unbelievable hockey game, and Josh played fantastic in it. But it's just like incrementally he got worse every quarter of every season. Yeah. He's so big. He's so strong. He can skate. His shot is average, but I mean everybody can shoot today with the sticks. The thing is, as I said to him 2 years ago, trying to get all the way back to the conversation, get on the score sheet. Because with your size and your ability, you got Habs are being run out there in games that are over and nobody's doing anything. So Jack-I comes along and the whole league is talking about him last year.
Right.
He was one of the discussion points through a good portion of the season. Then Rempe came along and kind of picked up that torch.
Right.
In the same vein. By the way, I don't know if you saw his fight with Hathaway or not, but
I didn't.
That's the fight of the year so far. No doubt about it. Well, right at center ice too.
I'll tell you, his being sent down to sort of
work on his game
didn't last too long.
One of the funniest lines. Everybody was just laughing about that one. Oh, I was saying Rempe down. He's going to be working on his edges. I'm out here working on my shot, Ma. Yeah, I mean, he was brought back up like 72 hours later. So whether it was, who knows what's going on these days. So many bodies go up and down. It's just paper transactions in a lot of cases. They don't even end up playing a game. It's just in and out transaction, caps, this, that, and the other. Anyway, he had a hell of a fight. And I think it was Hathaway. I got that wrong. I think it was.
No, I did hear, but I
think it was. And he was at center ice. It was a beauty. It was the fight of the year so far. But anyways, it's great. Goal scoring's up.
So listen, speaking of goal scoring being up and staying with the Washington Capitals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ovi.
Alexander Ovechkin.
Yep.
Now, he's off to a blustering...
No slow start this year.
You know what I mean? No, he's doing well.
Yeah.
But...
3 points last night. It wasn't just a goal. He had
absolutely.
2 primary assists.
Yeah, that's great, but he's never going to catch Gretzky's assists. So
No.
He's got to focus on the goals.
Yeah, he is.
But and everyone's going, oh, he's going to do it this season. I will wager he's not doing it. He's not
38
scoring
more goals, 43. I don't think so.
I don't think he's getting over 40. Yeah. I don't think he's getting that.
He's got 3 in the last 2 games to put him on a pace for 40. I find it hard to believe he'll maintain that. But what it does look like is he plays the full 2 minutes of the power play. Right?
Because he's there.
They'll switch up the unit. 4 more guys will come on, but he stays on.
Well, listen, as long as he is on his dot.
Yeah.
Right. He's there. When you think about guys who have that, office.
Yeah.
Right.
Wayne behind the net.
behind the net.
Yeah.
Hull, same spot as Ovechkin.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. I mean, it's really hard to.
Bobby Orr, the entire ice.
Yeah, well, yeah. and that was actually when he was on a penalty kill.
That's right. Yeah.
But you can't. I would have. Listen, if I was the coach, you have to have that shot there.
You do, and teams have been. I've actually caught a few Capital games this year, and out of the 10 or 11 they've played, I think I've seen 3 or 4, and a lot of teams are sending a D right out on him. Their teams don't, let's be honest, there's a lot of people that are pulling for him to do it, but the managers and the coaches, when they're playing against him, they don't want to see him score.
Well, no, and nobody wants to be the anecdote.
No. And along the way, to get there, he's going to have to score in a lot more goaltenders, a lot more teams. But, it was, even I was watching the game with my son, Rory, last night, and we're going, Montreal's going to lose this game for sure. Let's hope Ovi doesn't score. At least, of course, he did. Yeah. So it was kind of a broken play, but he was right there, right place, just a little buttered thing to get it in because Primo was down and out the way the play had come to him. But he popped it in, and he played a great game. Yeah. But they had a 5-on-3 in the third as well. So did Montreal, didn't score. And Washington didn't on theirs either. But they were feeding Ovi. I mean, they were passing him the puck from spots where, you should never pass it to him there. Oh, I got to get it. Where is he? And they're getting it to Ovi. 5-on-3, got lots of room, right? So
my understanding is that Putin has offered a huge, I believe you get...
some property in Ukraine?
Yeah, 9,000 acres in Ukraine if you help Ovechkin.
Shouldn't laugh, but you know what? I agree with you. First of all, I didn't think he'd come close to it. I'm surprised he's got 5, but he got 2 last game, gets a bonus 1. He's got 1 empty netter so far. Matthews got his 5th last night, also on an empty netter. He's been very quiet start, and now McDavid's hurt. It's been an interesting start of the season.
So let's talk about McDavid and the injury. And I mean, there's been a lot of, you know what?
Sticking the skates again, but he's going 100 miles an hour, so bad things can happen. You're going to hit the boards, and looks like maybe they dodged the bullet because there was a lot of people playing doctors on Twitter that were saying it's going to be a high ankle sprain, which would be disastrous.
Because that's 8 to 10 weeks.
Yeah, it would have been disastrous. They're saying 2 to 3, so we'll see. I hope they're right. Like, me, just be 100% for February, please, Connor. I can't even imagine the 4 Nation without him. I seriously can't. I mean, just him alone not in the lineup could spell disaster for us because you need all hands on deck. We've been there, done that. We saw it in 06. We saw it in 98. Like, any year that we lost, we were missing 1 or 2 or 3. 1996, World Cup, we're missing Mario Lemieux, Ray Bourque, Al McInnes, Patrick Waugh, and Paul Correa. None of those 5 guys played in 1996. We lose 2 games to 1 on a Brett Hull high stick. I know, everyone's going to say Stevie Y was offside in game 1. Yes, he was. Brett Hull, though, was a high stick. And anyways, we lose.
I'm not sure everyone was going to say that.
I'm pretty sure most people. I'm watching most people. They're nodding, saying Liam. They were taking a sip like I am right now. They were just about to say it. Well, Liam, Stevie Y was offside in game 1. I know!
There's way too much going on. All right. So you're they're saying 2 weeks, but
2 to 3, and they won last night. Got a nice win last night.
Well, listen, he's not the only guy on the team, right?
No.
They've got a solid team.
Yeah.
But that does hurt my President's Cup prediction.
Well, it's a long ways away.
It is a long ways away.
Yeah,
but
it's
you
February.
Gotta,
hold on.
You know what I mean?
November 1st. We're going to be okay. He'll be back.
Well, let's just hope.
He's Connor McDavid. It's a sprain of some sort is what it is. And just thank God it's not anything worse. Providing they're not feeding us a line here.
That's right. Well, this is the thing. And there's a lot of
wait and see.
gray area with what they're feeding as far as
Well, we're going to know. We're going to know before the end of this month.
Well, yeah.
So we'll know.
Yeah.
2-3 shows from now, we're going to know because he should be back.
Yeah.
And he'll come back. And if Edmonton can hang around and look available, boy, then maybe they can right their own ship because you did pick them to win the Stanley Cup.
I did.
And by the way, there's already been a game played today. I don't know, some American holiday. So Florida and Dallas played today. I don't know if you caught any of it or not.
No.
But the Panthers, and note to Chuck today, and they're just in another zone right now, Chris.
Yeah.
They're in another freaking zone. They just Dallas had some great pushback throughout the game. But point about the goaltending, neither goaltender, like Ottinger or Bobrovsky, played particularly well. Excuse me.
Today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this game's already happened and taken place. Even as we're taping this relatively early in the evening, they've already played. So it's Florida. Yeah, man, they're something else. But it is November 1st.
So, yeah, it is only November 1st.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay, so let's move on to things we dislike. Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oh yes.
Okay, first of all, I want to say something. If you are an NHL hockey player and you get paid good money, okay, especially if you're a star, right? So if you're an Erik Karlsson, do something with your fucking hair, man, right? Yeah. Like you don't, like you look bad. You look like you're like, honest to God, there are guys in Quillon who are fucking coiffed better. Okay, no offense to the guys in Quillon, but
Quillon's a great community.
It's a great community, but at the same time, I expect
home to Gavin's. I mean, come on.
Okay, you're right. You know what? I take that back. I don't say. Let's say St. Pierre to Wakefield. Okay. Okay, Brennan's Hill. You're fucking. I don't know.
Wow, you're going up the line
I'm
there.
going up the line. I am going up the line. Which, by the way, I'm allowed to because my family's. I told you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, that being said, I can't stand the way Karlsson looks, but also Austin Matthews looks like a fucking scumbag. Have you seen this?
Yeah, I see it every Saturday night on Hockey Night in Canada when they show him walking. Oh, are you talking about the commercial?
The commercials and stuff. Oh my God, does he ever look like a dirtbag? And he's got this, what I don't even know, like, listen, if you can't grow a beard, fucking buy one. You got enough money. Get some plugs or something, fix that. Grow a real beard or don't, okay? Yeah. Maybe shave your head or trim it. Don't have it all over the place. I mean, holy Christ, like, I don't know. It bugs me.
I don't even, it's inconsequential to me. Once I saw him do the interview last year and he had both earrings in, and I just went, you know what? It's just a different era, and I don't resonate. It doesn't, like, just go out and play the best of your ability, because all you've done, although they played okay last year in the playoffs, he did, but they lost in overtime to your Bruins.
To having an image that's clean cut.
Well, look at even in the commercial, they have him speaking specifically about something about dress or whatever, and he's got all the suits and the hats and all the different whatever. That's what it is now.
I know. I don't get it. You know what?
We're old school guys, bud.
Speaking of commercials, have you seen this? I think it's Royal Bank. It might even be CIBC. But one of the banks going, hey, if Connor McDavid ever wanted to be a carpenter, we'd back him 100%. Well, why don't you fucking back the carpenter instead of the fucking hockey player? The hockey player doesn't need your help, okay? The carpenter does. You fucking pieces of shit at the banks. You're actually, and your marketing people approved that fucking message.
That's a good point, actually.
I mean?
Yeah, go in and try and get a loan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Go in there as a regular person wanting to start a business. Sorry. You know what I mean? Left nut? Yeah. No, sorry. Yeah. Okay? Like, you can't do it. Well, but you're going to back the multi-millionaire guy to do something that he's completely not qualified for. Like, Jesus Christ. And they say that, and they do the same thing about Connor Bedard, and they're using they do all these things. It's, you know what? You're a goofs. That's all I'm saying. Okay? Now they're going to be calling my loan, but...
Yeah.
Hey. But anyway, that being said, okay, so we were talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs. I digressed about Austin Matthews and his appearance.
Well,
but he's a fuck of a good hockey player.
They're winning 2 out of 3 games. I mean, they're gonna back into the playoffs, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it just goes without saying they're gonna try. We'll see. It looks like maybe right now. Again, Chris, you said it off the top of the show. We're a month in, so the Bruins are hurting big time. There's no question about that. That was just disastrous. It's maybe one of the worst I've ever seen last night. And
well, you know what the problem is? There's not goalies hugging each other on a daily basis.
Well, they're missing
each other.
Swayman doesn't look quite the same. Maybe he's missing his buddy who's over in Ottawa and definitely didn't have a ton of work against St. Louis, but they got a nice win there. And they're on the ice here very shortly playing what a lot of people think could be a team to challenge Florida in the East, and that's the New York Rangers. So that'll be a hell of a game because Ottawa actually has played way more games than bad. And even the back-to-back losses they had, the one in Vegas, they should have won that game. They had 2-3 bad minutes. And the Colorado game, maybe, Colorado kind of definitely, they controlled that game territorially. There's no doubt about it. But Ottawa did have that game tied, much like Montreal last night, albeit 2 different teams, because Ottawa is significantly ahead of Montreal in the curve as to where they're going right now. But it's exciting to see. Toronto, I just really want to comment on Matthew Knives. The guy looks fantastic. Again, he really does, because Matthews has got 5 goals. He scores last night against Seattle into an empty net for his 5th, so he's been very quiet by his standard.
No, but he's a rock star hockey player. I know I don't like the way he looks and the way he...
Oh, no, he's a superstar.
But he's a superstar.
But right now, I mean, we're a month in. We're 13% of the season done, and he looks pretty average right now. Nylander looks like a beast, but Matthew Knives looks like a diamond in the rough for sure. Yeah, he looks fantastic.
And he had a great season last year, too.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he did.
And you know what? I mean, he's still on a rookie contract.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. It's like, he'll do well in the next iteration.
Yeah, because Johnny T's coming off the books, and his 11 mil is anyway.
Well, listen.
So
Johnny T has been playing very well, though.
Playing very well, but he's not going to be paid 11 if he stays in Toronto. Exactly, so he'll be able to do some things, but Toronto looks as usual. This has been the role they've played the last number of years. For them, this is all a rehearsal till the playoffs, but they've looked okay. Habs are definitely behind where even I think a lot of people, myself included, as a Hab fan, maybe we were reading the tea leaves a little too much here, and we were expecting.
Maybe you're smoking the tea leaves?
Yeah, maybe. I don't smoke anything, but perhaps in this case I did. I don't know. And Winnipeg are beasts, obviously.
Yeah.
They've played spectacular. Scott Arniel. I mean, Rick Bowness did all he could there.
Well, he did a great job.
And Rick came in, Paul Maurice exited stage door left on his own accord, goes down to Florida, wins the Stanley Cup. Rick comes in, bench boss, historical. No one's coached more games than him on the bench as a head coach or an assistant. And, his wife has been ill and decides after all these years, a career hockey guy packs it in, Scott Arniel, former Jet and Cornwall Royal and all the rest comes in. And he's got everybody firing on all cylinders. And so it's their dynamite team to see right now. And Calgary's played okay. Edmonton, we all know about the start, but they get the first win without Connor, and Toronto looks okay. Ottawa looks okay too. Yeah. Ottawa's looked all right as well. They're in a playoff spot right now, or a point out or whatever. They got games in hand, but in terms of percentage, they would be in if it ended today. They haven't had a November. They haven't had an October. They haven't been in this position in years.
Right.
So in like 5 years or something like that. So it's
because they've started out basically. They put themselves out of
by Christmas.
Exactly.
Yeah, they've been dead and buried by Christmas.
Happy about that. We have to be.
Sens fans have to be happy with what they're seeing right now because first of all, the power play is devastating right now. It's running at 41 points, 41%. Crazy. Of course, it'll come down. Edmonton set the record 2 years ago, beat Montreal's record from 76 by just a couple percentage points. I think around 32-ish. Montreal was 31.6 or something, so 31.8, something like that. The Islanders are right there too in that era. But Edmonton beat it 2 years ago. Ottawa's at 41% right now.
Yeah,
so
wow.
But they're good. Jake Sanderson's playing fantastic and getting. We'll see what happens. As I said, they deserved a better fate. then those 2 games, Vegas and Colorado. They come back home and they spank the shit out of St. Louis. Did you see Binnington come in on the scrum there to Chuck? And then he turns down, he gives Ullmark the nod, so Ullmark skates out of the crease a little bit. Like everybody, Gordon Miller's starting to, you can tell he's starting to foam at the mouth, even though he's not a fan of fighting in hockey. But what he's projecting as the announcer is it must have been cool. I wasn't at the game, but it must have been cool to see because Binnington is nuts, right? Yeah. He's absolutely, he's Terry Sawchuk reincarnated.
Oh, really?
Terry Sawchuk was absolutely ridiculous on the ice and off, sadly, as we know, 1970 with Ronnie Stewart. But that said...
Wait, tell me what happened in 1970.
Well, that's how Sawchuk died. He died after a fight with Ronnie Stewart off the ice.
The Ottawa Ronnie Stewart.
No.
Oh, different.
No, yeah. The Ronnie Stewart who played hockey.
Oh, okay.
Not the Ronnie Stewart with the Rough Riders. But yeah. They argued over a bill at a bar. And after, I'm sure they'd been there quite a while. Then they went back and the argument and the drinking continued. And there was a cement barbecue.
Oh,
the cement barbecue.
Hit that?
Yeah, he hit and went in. And he was alive for a few days, but he died. Yeah. He died because of that fight, and there was investigation charges and everything. Everything ended up getting thrown out, but how you gonna prove it? This, that, and everything else. So, but it was.
You know what?
Ron Stewart had to live with that. So.
Oh yeah. That's that's not a good moniker to have.
No, but Sawchuk was a noted absolute crazy man on the ice. When he played. I mean, he went through a lot of mental health issues too, so that maybe led to some of it. So.
Now, do we know that there were mental health issues, or are we just speculating now?
No, we know. Yeah. We know. Oh yeah, it's well documented what his first time leaving Detroit, going to Boston.
Yeah.
And you talk about big trades. I mean, he's traded 1-for-1 with Johnny Busick. I mean, that's a pretty big trade.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And yes, it's a million years ago, folks, but you are talking about 2 great players here.
No, absolutely. So, but listen, here's the thing. I think all goaltenders are a bit,
Yeah.
I mean,
well, you got to be.
You
have to be.
Listen, I know. I remember this distinctly. We had a goaltender. He used to talk to himself all the time.
Yeah.
He would he would have back and forth. He'd be, and you'd watch him from the bench, right? Like if the play's either in, and he was like, you know what I mean? Animated conversation. I'm pretty sure. He might have had, I don't know if he had multiple personality disorder, but all I know is that when the guy who could play net showed up, he was a good goaltender.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the important thing. I don't care how many personalities you have.
Yeah.
As long as they can all fucking stop a puck.
Well, listen, we all know what Binnington did in 2019. I mean, he brought the St. Louis Blues off the mat. Nobody's done that. Been in last place, New Year's. They come back, they win the Stanley Cup. He was largely responsible for it. Yeah, Ryan O'Reilly won the Conn Smythe, rightfully so. But Binnington, I think, was either second or third in voting. Yeah. So they beat your Bruins there. Yeah. Sorry about that.
No.
But that was a hell of a series.
And you know what? Listen, I will never feel bad for a team winning the cup.
Yeah.
Because I know each one of those kids, and it's one of the things that I don't know who said it. Oh no, Gretzky said this. Gretzky was talking about when they were the first time that they were in the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah.
Right? And they lost.
83.
Okay. Yeah. And he was saying how here they are in the Stanley Cup finals.
Yeah.
You dream of this as a kid.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
As a kid playing road hockey, right? It's the Stanley Cup finals. It's the last game.
Sure.
You're going to score the winning
You're
goal.
Always your hero in the driveway when you're going bar down with tennis ball.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, you know what? Fucking tennis ball when it's frozen in Northern Ontario, the welts here.
Frozen anywhere. Believe me, we had much colder weather around here too. We always played with a tennis ball, and it hurt. You got out of the way. Some people were shooting, like Kevin Jardine. Get the hell out of the way of that shot. He could fire it.
Could he?
Oh yeah.
He can stop it too.
He is a great goaltender on the ice. Off the ice, he plays out in ball hockey, and he's outstanding.
And so listen, with him in net, right? Because I played with him and against him, right?
Yeah.
He's so old school.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like fuck, right down to the helmet too, right?
He's got his long johns are from 1982.
But he does the stacking of the pads.
Yeah.
He does the whole.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, where are you from, right?
Yeah.
Because everyone's down, everyone's in, and he's 65 years old.
I know.
And he's still, playing
Yeah.
net.
Yeah.
My other goaltender, actually a couple of goalies that I'm on a number of teams. One of the other goalies I played with last night, we won, by the way.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it was. We won 6-1.
Okay.
Yeah, he got pissed off because it was a bad play and I took the wrong. I had a man. I had my man.
Okay.
The defenseman.
But this is to give up the shutout?
To give up the shutout.
Okay.
The defenseman left. I don't know where the fuck he went. Maybe to buy a hot dog or something. Okay. But I got my guy. I've got it. Boom, off the thing, and there's a guy standing fucking right there. No one watched him. He could have. The guy could have set up an office, remote. He actually had phones installed. That's how long he was able to stand there.
Hate when that happens.
And it's like but you can't. You make the mistake, right? If I leave this guy to fucking go to that guy, the next thing I know, I'm in the middle and they're both open.
Yeah.
Right? You can't do it.
Yeah.
Anyhow, but our goalie is 63.
Oh wow! Right there with the header.
Well, and he's fucking in great shape, and he's up and down, and it's like Jesus, like. I don't know how they do it because I
don't know either, man. Be a target that long, and we know many others. Billy Boyven, there's lots of guys in the area.
Still playing that?
Yeah, he is.
Okay, because I know he's playing on. I know he's playing Tuesday mornings or something.
Yeah, I think he's playing out in Leitrim. I heard. I think he's playing in Leitrim, but he's not in the Tick anymore. I don't think in any.
I thought he was playing.
Is he
in the morning? Now I could be wrong.
Okay.
Someone mentioned it.
So pickup. He's not playing.
No,
in the league.
no, not in the league. Not in the league. He's just playing pickup. But there's a guy. The only thing I'll say about that guy is that I don't know how you could find a fucking trapper that would fit his hand.
I know that's
hand.
a massive hand.
The guy didn't even need.
How'd he go in car engines?
Yeah.
The guy's a mechanic for billions of decades. I always said, Billy, how'd you get in, work those digits of yours in underneath?
No, I think he hired Mexicans to work inside, like little, And listen, I
Mexicans from Quio.
That's right. Let me try to be as politically incorrect as I possibly can.
It was only a matter of time, folks.
Well, no,
who had 45 minutes in the pool?
Listen, here's the thing. I will say this. People complain, this terrible Mexicans coming illegal. The bastards work hard.
Well, somebody's got to do it.
But they work friggin' hard.
This society has raised a whole generation of people who are looking for the handout. So.
Well, you know who I was talking with? Miller's Farm.
Yeah.
And they cannot get local kids to work the farm, to do picking and do anything.
Yeah.
And I know that my kids would have. I would have made my kids. And when I was young.
Yeah.
Fuck, you know how you wanted to get onto the fucking farm.
I just wanted a job.
You wanted
I took
to make
much work as I possibly could. We all did. We're from that era. Well, that's the way it was.
You would go out, and I remember friends going, "Hey," and I remember bugging this guy. I was working at Kentucky Fried Chicken, okay, in Blossom Park, okay, and a buddy who was out in Metcalf, he goes, "Listen, guy left. We need another guy to help us. We're bringing in the hay. We're doing this and that." Mm-hmm. I was there.
Yeah.
Right? You get to go. You work for fucking 16 hours.
Yeah.
Right? But they gave you beer.
Yeah.
And food. Right? Plus good money. Like whatever. It was better money than working at Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah.
Okay. It was hard. It was great. And the whole time that I was doing it, I swear to God, you know who I was thinking about? Bobby Hull.
Oh yeah,
you know that?
Yeah, of course, the famous shot.
Yeah.
Did you replicate it?
Well, not exactly. I didn't quite have the. I was like, listen, don't get me wrong. I was built. I used to have a perfect V.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a U. Now it's an O. It's actually an O now. I've gone from a consonant to a vowel.
Okay.
But
Vanican of a vowel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
At some point in my life, this is the sad part. My pecs turned to tits, and I don't know when it happened. It just sort of was transitional. But I noticed
it's gravity.
It is gravity, but they are ample. They're ample breasts. Just if anybody needs to know. If there's any women out there looking,
there you go.
Ample breasts.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have anything else we wanted to talk about? We talked Ottawa, Toronto.
No,
all that stuff.
Hey, just two things maybe. Shout out for I think Shoeless Joes are coming back. With us.
They're going to come. They're going to join us. They haven't been with us before.
Yeah, last year.
No.
Yeah.
Did we do anything with Shoeless? Yeah, no, I don't think so. We were talking with them, but it never came through.
Okay.
Well, it didn't.
I thought it did.
No, I didn't think so.
I thought.
Well, listen.
I thought so. Maybe. Well, if we,
I honestly don't remember because I would put I would have put Shoeless Joe's in there as the, you know what I mean, and the ad.
Well, we're hoping that Jeff Underhill and Shoeless Joe's join us. He's got 2 locations.
Yeah.
And
Orleans and Kempville.
That's right, and they're fantastic. I was in the Kempville one recently. I try and go there periodically.
I've never been to the Orleans one.
I helped open it actually on opening night. Yeah, they had a fabulous night and brought in a bunch of guys. Claude Julien was there,
Really?
Jason York, Ron Tugnut, and we had a great night. I did interviews with them. Place was packed, and it's a beautiful location way out in Orleans. So, anyways, we're hoping Jeff comes on board and he wants to sponsor a little history, little trivia. So I thought he was talking about goaltenders. Just very quickly, Jacques Plante wore a mask for the first time. On this date, today,
on this date.
November 1st, 1959. Andy Bathgate hit him in the head. He went off, told Blake, if I continue playing, I'm wearing a mask. Otherwise, get somebody else to dress. No backup goalies in those days.
That's right.
And so Blake had to let him play. And but
he had been wearing the mask in practice.
He'd been wearing it in practice.
And by the way, any idea where Toe Blake's from?
Yeah, he's from Victoria Mines.
Which doesn't exist anymore. What did that become? What did Victoria Mines become?
Another town in northern Ontario, very close to you.
Yeah, I believe it was called Coniston.
That's right.
Toe Blake's a hero in the town, of course. I mean,
of course, how could he not be?
He was one of the one. He had been the winningest coach in NHL for a long time.
He had been. I mean, Scotty passed him. Al Arbor passed him first.
And Al Arbor's another Sudbury boy.
Well, and Toe had his wins were like Dick Irvin Sr. had the overall record, and then Toe took the Stanley Cup record.
Right.
And then Al Arbor took the games record, and then Scotty's got them all now.
Right.
So, but that's kind of sort of chronologically. You kind of got to break them up, depending on what stat you're talking about. And he got his nickname from his niece, right? They couldn't say Hector, Uncle Hector. They said Uncle Hecto. So I got shortened to Toe. So that's how he got his nickname. But I was in the tavern one time only. I went in the Toe Blake Tavern, and it's prompted me just before we shut down here because I had about a less than a minute conversation with him. The smoke was so thick, could barely see you to me away. There wasn't one woman in the place. It was all guys. I was in there with Paul Rushloff from the Cars Road second line and Jeff Saunders, whose dad owned Saunders Electric and Manotick. And we all ordered quarts, and it was Mr. Blake. He was talking to these guys. I went up and talked to him. I said, "My name's Liam McGuire from Ottawa." He couldn't give a shit who I was. And I said, "Could I just ask you a quick question?" He was signing an autograph for me. And I said, "Do you think Montreal made the trade for you to replace Howie Morenz?" And he just looked at me because at the time, I'm like 20 years old, and I look like 14. And definitely the last question he was ever expecting to hear.
Right.
And he just stared at me like his eyes were burning right through me. And he just said, "Son, nobody was replacing Morenz." And he turned around and walked away, and I went, okay. Probably shouldn't have gone there. But I thought, intense, I'm going to get a nugget here. I'm going to get a nugget. He's going to give me some, because Toe Blake was traded from the Montreal Maroons to the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah.
And that's how he became a Hab. And
he was on that big line.
He was on the punch line, whose first game ever was today.
Oh, is that right?
Yes. Also another little this day in hockey history. Yeah. Maybe in the future, brought to you by Shoeless Joe's. But for now, yes, I just thought of that, Chris. Their first game together, and they were the second line in NHL history to finish 1, 2, 3 in scoring. The Kraut line on your Bruins were first. 1939, Schmidt, Dumart, Bauer, then the punch line, and then the production line. Gordie Howe, Ted Lindsay, and Sid Abel in 1949-50. So only 3 lines. Although the Bruins put almost their entire roster in the top 10 in 1971.
That's right, 1971,
7 guys in the top 10 scoring. I mean, come on. It's just ridiculous what they did in 1971. 399 goals for.
Hodge, Busick, and Espo.
Yeah.
I mean, they were...
Incredible line.
No, they weren't 1, 2, 3, but they must have been one...
Well, Bobby kind of broke that up, right? So,
yeah.
So that's why.
Fucking Orr.
And Hodge and Cashman were down a little bit, but obviously Espo was the man, right? He had 152 points that year. But anyway, speaking of Howie Morenz, I am going to try and set this up. I'm going to start it, maybe even tomorrow, if not Monday. I'm going to do a little cross promotion for Offside with Haas and McGuire. And because what I miss doing and is just commenting daily, basically. I get pegged, I get pinged messages all the time, my phone. goes constantly on all my platforms. I'm going to bang out something. I'm going to call it the Morenz Minute. And it's not going to actually be a minute, but it's going to be short. It's going to be like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and I'm going to use it, and I'm going to say that hey, listen, Offside with Haas and McGuire, if you want to hear more on these topics, catch our show, available where, podcasts,
so
webcasts.
What's going to be the topic?
It's like the night after, because I watch everything.
Oh, so you're going to talk about what was on the game?
Yeah, exactly. The immediacy of what happened. So, let's say, for example, we're not going to tape now till next week.
Probably not.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
we probably won't. I mean, more than likely.
Well, I mean, we like to do once a week.
Once a week is generally what we set up to do, as everybody knows. Like, we're not getting paid for this. So
if we were making bigger money,
we
could get together
for
more
sure.
often.
And maybe, God willing, if we go to a year 3 or 4 or beyond, we'll get some sponsors to come on board that'll make it worth our while to do more tapings.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, what I love to do and always have isn't just take a microphone like I am tomorrow night in Winchester. I'll be working with Wendell Clark and Chris Neal and Mike Krushelinski and Geraldine Heaney, who's in the Hockey Hall of Fame, third woman to go in. So they're going to be on a hot stove with me tomorrow night in Winchester, the Joel Steele Arena. This is how I make my living. Try to. But what I love to do, beyond just talking about Jacques Plante and 59 and the punchline, is what happened in the games last night. And the little bit of nuggets that I see and the little bit of things that I see, whether it's an Anderson-Wilson fight or what have you, we're able to talk about it today. Next week, we'll talk about other things, Chris, in a more, elongated fashion. But in the Morenz Minute, I want to be in and out like in literally, it'll be less than 5 minutes.
It'll be like sex.
It'll be like sex,
out
in and out, baby.
Short time.
Yeah. 3-4 minutes, call it a day.
Yeah.
And just
you gotta,
tease Offside with Haas and McGuire, and if anything that we have going, let's say the hockey pool's already running, but by chance we have something else that we want people to be aware of in Offside with Haas and McGuire. But I'm going to use it sort of as a cross promotion.
Yeah.
I'm going to fire it out there on the platform, something really short, punchy, Liam style, coming at you. It's going to be on camera and audio, obviously, and just bang it out there. No trivia or nothing, just going to hammer things just quickly what I saw from the night before.
There you go.
Called the Morenz Minute with Liam McGuire, as a sort of a little, what would I call it? A little addition to Offside with Haas and McGuire.
Yeah, well, it's a spin-off.
Spin-off, that's the word I was looking for.
And just to be clear, I get 20% of the revenues. And that's how it works. And so far, you end up owing money.
20% of this. That's right.
So, okay, this is it. We're done. Mm-hmm. So this has been Offside with Haas and McGuire. I'm Haas.
I'm McGuire. G'day.